What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Pete's Carport. So it's been quite some time since I've done anything to my 1963 Austin Healey Sprite. I just finally uncovered her, started her up. Sounds absolutely insane. Straight header right now. Such a fun car, such a cool sounding car. So the reason why I put a halt is because I haven't been able to get the carburetor set up or tuned. And so today I decided to fire her up, make sure everything's good on that. And then I had received this in a few weeks back and I just haven't had the time to work on this car. But this is a basically a linkage for your carburetor. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down and I'm going to show you guys how this mounts to the top. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so it's been a while, so I'm going to fill you guys in on where we're at. I went ahead and picked up this really nice Weber carburetor, and I think it's the 45 DCOE. It's been a while since I've really looked at this, but it's a really nice carburetor. It's a very large carburetor, and I think it's going to really be a good performer for what I'm looking to do. If many of you guys may know, I also purchased a performance head for this that will be going in shortly too. But first I wanted to get the header hooked up and the manifold and all that stuff. And so I got that done on one of the last videos. And then I had issues mounting any sort of linkage for the gas pedal. So I ordered in this kit. And the way that this thing works, it's really nice. This is a very nice piece that's put together by Race Pro. It mounts right to the top here. So you take those two bolts off. It mounts right into the holes that are already cut out, and specifically for this carburetor. And this is where I got a little confused because this is where your throttle is, and at first I was trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to get any sort of linkage down there. So basically through this end here is where your throttle cable is going to go, and they give you a new one in the box, or of course you can use your old one. So the throttle cable, which is right there, is going to slide through there and then come up in here and lock to there. So basically allowing the pull to be down. So basically when this goes down, it's going to press on this piece here to give it gas, that direction. So what I'm thinking I've got to do is unbolt this and spin this around and lock it in place to where it's angled up, and I can screw this into the hole that's down here, and this will work as a linkage. And then you just make some adjustments based on height so that it's properly pressing down and giving the proper gas. And so once I get that on there, that'll allow me to bring it over to the new shop, which is only a mile down the road, hopefully. Because what's going on is when I give it throttle, it's stalling, and that's because the jets are not proper, and I've ordered in some new jets and just haven't had good luck with the jets. And that's kind of where I gave up sort of on this car so that I could focus on some other things that I had just to kind of ease my mind off this, because this is going to be a car I have for a very, very long time, and I wasn't trying to rush through it. And right next to the shop, there's a gentleman that does performance cars just for fun, his own type of stuff. He's got a few Mustang Cobras in there, and he's very familiar with these Weber carburetors. He works on Porsches. He's got a 914 in there as well, and I think they have a very similar carb setup. And he's got some jets that he can play around with so that we get this properly tuned. So once I can get over to the shop, if not, I got to tow it over there, but it's not really worth the mile tow if I can get it running and drive it over there quickly. Once we get this tuned up, it'll be back heavily on the channel. We're going to actually do a red wine plasti dip on this once I'm done with all the body work. And as you can see, since I got this, I've cleaned up the engine bay really well. This has that performance radiator and a lot of other things. I've got that ITG, the intake filter here, and then some other things that we cleaned up around the bay. Obviously the header that's running straight right now, and I'm going to run out a side pipe, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that because I don't want to hit my leg on it. So I'm going to talk to a muffler shop. We also cleaned up the carpet. The carpet's all nicely mounted in there now. When I got it, it was just sliding around. And then of course we got started on our dash and gauges. I did that piece of wood cut out, and we ordered in these carbon fiber flip switches for the different controls on it. And eventually I want to be able to put blinkers on here so I can take it down some back roads. And we're going to put in a digital speedometer, one that works off of GPS as compared to your standard one that works off of the wheel speed sense, basically the cable that goes into it, your speed cable. And so that wasn't working properly, and I wasn't getting any sort of speed, and so I decided I was going to change that out. We got a water gauge there, and I think I have one more gauge, a volt gauge, that I need to install somewhere, and then we're probably going to put a clock, like either one of these or a really nice clock down there, just to kind of fill in the dash. So that's really it. I wanted to give you guys a quick update on where I was. I'm going to go ahead and mount this and come back and show you guys how it all fits in. Alright guys, so I'm really liking this whole linkage setup here that I ordered on eBay, and it made it a lot easier because it just mounted right up to the bolts that were already here, as compared to, this is what the carburetor had come with, is just a whole bunch of different things, no real instructions. I even got a hold of Weber, and they sent me over the instructions, and nothing in there really showed exactly how to set this single carburetor up, because every car is going to be different, every manifold is going to be different, and a lot of them had it mounting to the manifold, and I just didn't have the hole on the other side here to mount it like they were showing. But back to this. So basically what I ended up using is, this is the one that was on the car, and I just had to drill out the hole a little bit bigger. They actually gave you one that angles more to like right here. It's a better setup, but it was just a hair too long to where I wasn't comfortable having these things just one thread on each end, and it was really stretching the bearing out here. This is like a little movable ball in there, and I just wanted it to be nice and tight, and right now it works great. Now I had to use the new cable, and like I explained to you guys, this whole type of carburetor setup is new to me. I'm used to where you slide a cable in, you tighten it up with a screw, and that's how you adjust the tension on it. Whereas these ones have the little ball on the end, and it has to be slid into this section here and wrapped around there. Well, I couldn't use the one that I already had because it was just a cut piece of cable, and it was very frayed. And so this is actually the part that I believe is supposed to go into the car. So what I did was I undid all of the rubber surrounding, and this is a lot nicer than the one that I had on the car. And I just cut this, so I'm going to be able to slide this back through. Now the other end of this is just a straight end, and the problem with that is you have to find a way to mount up something like this where your wire slides through. And so I just went and picked these up. This was like a little set that it came with from AutoZone or Advanced Auto, one of those. And I'll show you what that looks like and what I mean by that. So I slid the cable through. That's the pedal slide, and then that gets tightened up on both sides. I'm going to tighten it up really, really tight, but it is working right now. If I hit the pedal here, you'll see it slides down on it. But you want to make sure that's really secure. So I have all this extra cable here now that I need to cut, and I need to get that really tightened up on there. But you can see here, if I push down on the gas pedal, it's working properly. And I'm going to put the rubber, the outside coating that goes on the wire to keep it from getting nicked and frayed. I'm going to put that on there now. I went ahead and cut that with it off. So I'm going to slide everything back together. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let you guys know I didn't give up on this car. It's just I had so many other tasks that I was trying to complete on other things, and I was waiting for things to come in for this, and I needed a free weekend because this car is still at my house just to get it running. Now I have already fired it up with this linkage setup, and the car is there's so much fuel going into it. When you even give it a little bit of gas, it's stalling out, and I've got to figure out if I can even get this over to the shop by driving it, or if I do need to tow it. But that's going to be another day, another episode where we're going to get this thing tuned and running perfect, and I'll fill you guys in on that. Hopefully this helps any of you guys out there looking to set up a linkage on your Weber carburetor, whether it be on a Sprite or whatever other type of vehicle. There's quite a different amount of vehicles out there from this generation that use this exact carb. All right, guys, have a great day. This is Pete from Pete's Carport. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and there's going to be more coming of this little Sprite race car, and it's going to be a fun car to drive around. And have a great day, guys.